What happens when family bonds blur the lines of morality? A stepmother's forbidden relationship with her stepson leads to betrayal, heartbreak, and shocking twist. Stay tuned as we unravel the scandalous tale of lies, love, and secrets that will leave you speechless. Good day and welcome to Amazon Recaps. The film opens with Annie, a lawyer, questioning her client who has experienced abuse. Annie asks her several inquiries and suggests she remain composed in court, emphasizing the importance of answering all queries honestly. Meanwhile, the victim's mother is shown speaking with a journalist, responding to a few questions. In the subsequent scene, Annie is seen jogging towards her entrance. She has two lovely daughters, and her spouse, Pierre, discusses his son, Theo. Pierre mentions that his mother, Rebecca, called to inform them that Theo has been detained again for an altercation with his teacher. Pierre clarifies that he cannot take the girls to the riding center and urges Annie to take them instead, as he needs to handle Theo's issue. Later, Annie converses with her friend Mina about Theo. She reveals that Theo, her stepson, will be staying with them since Pierre sees this as an ideal chance to bond with his son. During their chat, a man arrives with a child named Lucas, whom he leaves with Mina. Although irritated, Mina agrees to care for Lucas but warns him to behave since she has two other clients to attend to. Annie asks Mina if she could bring Lucas along with her daughters, but Mina declines. Instead, Mina joins them for dinner when she comes to pick Lucas up. After dinner, Annie returns home and finds the house untidy. While tidying up, she encounters Theo drying his hair in the restroom. She reminds him not to leave his belongings scattered around the house, noting there's plenty of closet space in his room. Later that night, Annie and her family sit for dinner. Her daughters ask numerous questions, including why Theo hasn't lived with them before. Angela, one of the daughters, gives him a handmade key holder as a present, which Theo graciously accepts. The next day, Annie is shown making a phone call as she steps out of her vehicle. She observes Theo practicing judo with Serena, one of her daughters, while Angela watches. When Annie joins them, Theo suddenly leaves. That evening, Pierre comes home late and chats with Annie while eating, complaining about work and drinking excessively. Noticing his state, Annie helps him freshen up in their room. Pierre opens up about Theo, sharing that his son accused him of adopting the girls to assuage his guilt for not being present for him. Annie reassures Pierre, saying that Theo is connecting well with the girls. Later, Pierre discovers Theo smoking in his room and advises him not to smoke indoors. Pierre expresses that they are trying to make Theo feel at ease and expects him to reciprocate. This frustrates Theo, who angrily tells Pierre to leave. When Pierre insists Theo prioritize his studies with exams nearing, Theo becomes enraged and insults his father. Annie visits Mina's shop, and Mina accompanies her as they drive back to Annie's home. Upon arriving, Annie finds the home in chaos, with everything strewn about. She and Mina tidy up and then call Pierre, informing him that their home has been burglarized. Theo returns and is shocked by the disorder. He checks his room for anything missing, while Mina remarks that Theo didn't greet her at her office. Annie updates one of her clients, Sarah, that the juvenile court has ruled she can stay with her father, making Sarah ecstatic. Later, while sorting laundry, Annie finds a key holder in Theo's pocket and questions him about it. Theo denies stealing anything, trying to divert the conversation. Annie warns him to behave properly. The next morning, Annie and Theo prepare for a beach outing. Theo assists with the beach supplies and agrees to accompany the family. At the beach, Theo connects with the girls, playing and enjoying himself, which delights everyone. On the way back, the girls invite Theo to go horse riding with them the next day. Although Theo admits he doesn't know how to ride, he agrees to join them. At home, Theo chats with Annie while smoking. He shares that he started smoking at 12 with his mother. Annie suggests he invite friends over, but Theo confesses he doesn't have any. They converse for a long time, exchanging jokes and laughter. The next day, Theo brings a girl named Amanda to the house and takes her to his room. At a gathering, Annie and Pierre are chatting, but Annie, feeling uninterested, steps away and sits on the stairs. Theo, heading out, sees his stepmother sitting alone. He retrieves his bike from the garage and tells her he's going to buy cigarettes, inviting her to join him. Annie agrees without hesitation, and they leave the house cheerfully. They stop by a bar for drinks and talk. Annie asks Theo about Amanda, curious if she's still his girlfriend, but Theo explains they live separate lives. Theo then asks Annie if her love for Pierre is genuine, but she dismisses the question. During their chat, Amanda calls Theo, and he steps away. When Annie returns home, she notices Pierre looks worried. He asks where she went, and she says she needed fresh air and went for a walk. Pierre, upset that Annie left a guest at the gathering, storms off to the roof in frustration. The following day, Mina visits Annie's house with Isaac. While they chat, Theo plays with the children. That night, Annie goes to Theo's room, sits on his bed, and watches what he's viewing on his phone. In an unexpected twist, the stepmother and stepson share an intimate moment. Feeling ashamed, Annie expresses her regret, saying it must never happen again. However, Theo reflects on the event despite her objections, and their mutual attraction lingers, creating tension. Annie decides to visit Sarah after getting no response to her repeated calls. When she arrives, Sarah, visibly upset, asks her to leave. Worried, Annie makes a call to learn more about Sarah's situation. It's Serena's birthday, and Annie busily decorates and prepares. Meanwhile, Theo continues to flirt with her, but Annie brushes him off. Many guests attend the celebration, including Mina, who leaves immediately after catching Theo and Annie kissing and flirting. The party concludes with much fun and excitement. The next day, Annie confronts Theo about the incident at the party. They meet in the woods, where she tells him she wants to end their inappropriate relationship. Theo protests, accusing her of being cruel, but he ultimately agrees to keep their affair a secret, even from Pierre. Angry, Theo leaves, while Annie returns home to join Pierre at the table. Annie grows anxious when Pierre mentions Mina called him but feels relieved when she realizes Mina didn't disclose anything about her and Theo. Pierre then says he wants to spend time with Theo for some bonding, leaving Annie no choice but to agree and stay with the girls. After their outing, Pierre's behavior becomes suspicious, making Annie fear Theo might have confessed. In their room, Pierre confronts Annie about her relationship with Theo. She denies it and feigns innocence, insisting she cares deeply for both Pierre and Theo. Annie reveals Theo was responsible for the earlier robbery but says she didn't tell Pierre because she hoped Theo would improve. Pierre believes her and decides to let it go. The following day, the three spend time together, and Annie confronts Theo, asking him to present proof that he wasn't involved in the burglary. Theo storms off to his room, aware that he has no evidence to clear his name. On Christmas Day, Sarah stops by Annie's house to give her a gift and express gratitude for her support. Mina also visits with Isaac, informing Annie that she has forgiven her. Pierre surprises Annie with a bracelet as a present. The next morning, Annie is seen at Theo's lawyer's office, where she requests a document to be placed on her desk. A speechless Theo sits silently. Later that evening, Annie hears a noise outside her home. She wakes up to investigate and finds Theo, who claims he came to see her but appears intoxicated. Theo makes suggestive moves toward Annie. Initially, she resists, but they eventually give in to their desires and share another intimate moment. Afterward, Annie leaves the room and goes to her husband, Pierre. She informs him that Theo dropped by briefly while drunk and that she had already arranged a cab to take him home. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to Amazon Recaps and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update from us.